Oh, damn. He's stalking her exes. It gets interesting. Okay, as long as you know you're enough, that's all that really matters. You can't always be perfect for everybody. That's just not how the world works. Some of y'all are out here doing a madness. Like, why? Like, even just reading the title alone, it's like, why? He may actually be the nice guy that you think of him. And because of that, that is his flaw. But at the same time, do you really need to be with her just because you love her? No, you don't. Nah, this is outrageous. Hey, Salaam everyone, and hope you're all doing well. It is pouring rain here. I won't lie. It's one of those days where it's raining, it's cold, fall is among us, and but that's neither here nor there. We are at the second episode of the UFK show. I can't believe it. It's all happening so fast. Nah, but for real, it's cool. I think the second episode, I mean, the first one was kind of a, all right, let's, get introduced, let's establish all this. I feel like the second one, I feel like we just jump right into it. And one of the ideas I had was doing a little segment of the show, if I may say. But doing a segment that's kind of unsolicited advice. And the reason being because, first and foremost, I feel like a lot of people are going through a lot of things. For better or for worse, it's tough. It's the nature of the world we're in today, where we can see so much of what's going on with everybody. If somebody's going through something, they can share it. And so I had the thought, and again, this is how I feel in general. People tend to be so willy-nilly with being like, you have to do this or you need to do that. And don't get me wrong, a lot of it is going to be me sharing what I think is what's best. But at the same time, it's like, I also know that this is fully unsolicited. Like, okay, look, I'm gonna be honest. The way that I have it set up is I went on Reddit, right? I went on Reddit, and it's literally just constant complaining of people just talking about their issues and what they're going through, which is totally fine. I respect it. I mean, everyone needs an outlet, and it's totally cool. But for me, I was like, all right, why not take that opportunity to kind of just share my thoughts on, what could be best. I feel like in life, I tend to, if people ask, or share what's going wrong, I try to ask and be like, all right, do you want my advice and my thoughts on what would be the best direction to go down? Or two, sometimes people just want to rant, and that's why I'm calling this segment "Unsolicited Advice," is that I do feel like a lot of people also just want to rant. They don't want it to be. I mean, some people do. To be fair, some people do want like advice to be like, "Oh, okay, this is fantastic," and hopefully, maybe a lot of you here will be able to hear my thoughts on it, and maybe it's helpful enough that it could be seen as beneficial. But at the end of the day, I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be something that, I mean, hey, look, we'll see where it goes. If people are interested in it, by all means, we'll keep it going. One thing that I think would be cool though is that, again, there's going to be a little email in the description, and if you're interested in it, by all means, share your story, share what you're going through. If you want my actual advice, not unsolicited, then we can actually talk more about it. We can potentially see if there's, a way that I can actually share that. And, of course, I'll make sure that everything's private. That's the cool thing about Reddit, is that anyone who's posted something on Reddit, they're not too worried about how it, like, I mean, they've already posted it for the world to see, or at least for Reddit to see. Now it's just me kind of using it, which I haven't checked to see if this is like allowed or not, but either way, we're still going to do it. And if I'm not allowed, then we'll take it down. But either way, I have it set up so that way it's on the MacBook. I'll connect this so that way you guys can see it. I'll be in the little corner so you can see me in the screen. But yeah, no, other than that, I don't really think there's much more to talk about. Again, second episode. I hope you enjoyed the first one if you've seen it. And yeah, I think this will be fun. I kind of want to keep this I'm not gonna try and I'm gonna try and filter through it because I'm not gonna lie, like there's genuinely some really dark ones. I like perused lightly through it because I wanted to keep things fresh and real, and I haven't like selected, oh, like we're gonna talk about this one or that one. I wanted to make sure that it's at least pretty natural. But again, there's some like dark stuff on here. Like there's some really sad stuff. I made sure I turned off like any of the, you know what I'm saying, Reddit's a weird place. But I tried to turn that off so that way it'll be, generalized. But at the same time, even the general stuff is like, it can get pretty dark. And I'm sure there's going to be a time and place where like, discussing the dark stuff is going to be worthwhile. But I think for now, I'll probably try and select stuff that's a bit more. Um, I mean, who knows? It might just get dark right off jump. Who knows? Either way, let's just jump into it. So, again, this is, I'm going to connect it to the MacBook. Just give me 1 second. All right. And there we go. I believe, oh, wrong one. There we go. Aha, there we go. And we're connected to the Mac. This is r/advice. All credit goes to that. I'm going to skip through a couple of these because they're just a bit much right off jump. Yeah, no, okay, all right. Let's just go through this. Again, none of this has been structured. There's no actual like, oh, we're specifically in it. I haven't selected any of these. I think when you select it, you can kind of see like, here, if I select this and then I go back. Yeah, look, see, look. So none of these are selected. So, all right, let's see what this first one is. All right, red flag. Okay, so found my boyfriend stalking my exes on Instagram. Is this a red flag? Ah, hey yo, like I can't, man. All right, hold on a second. Oh, that's so interesting. I can go and I can switch it back and forth between the. Oh, right. Okay, because we're back on. Okay, never mind. Because yeah, here, 1 second. See, like I'm still figuring this out. Okay, yeah, so we're back to the actual screen. Anyways, all right, genuinely, I'm gonna be real with you guys. Some of y'all are out here doing a madness. For real though, like why? Like even just reading the title alone, it's like why? Like why? Uh, and look, I feel like my history and my, background, especially in relationships, et cetera, or my lack thereof, to give a little bit of a hint. I feel like that should be disclosed at some point, and I can probably go into it if y'all are interested. But I don't know. I feel like, again, I feel like some of this is, but who knows? I mean, this is a judgment-free zone. You know, I'm gonna try and keep it as judgment-free as possible because again, we all make mistakes. We all, mess up here, there, everywhere, But again, like I'm not. There's no holier than thou situation over here. Like I'm genuinely, like I'm a flawed individual. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. So there is no judgment from me, but at the same time, like sometimes you read something, you're like how is this happening? But let's get back into it. Alrighty. Oh, I keep going to the wrong one. Alrighty. Okay, there we are. So okay, let's read through this if bear with me, but so found my boyfriend stalking my exes on Instagram. Is this a red flag? I've been dating my boyfriend for about a year now and things have been going pretty well. Congrats to you both. I'm very happy for y'all. We've had the usual ups and downs, but nothing major. I always thought we had a good level of trust between us. So what I discovered last night really threw me for a loop. Oh, I'm so sorry. We were just hanging out at my place watching a movie. He got up to grab some snacks and his phone was sitting on the couch. I didn't mean to be nosy, but a notification popped up. And when I glanced over, I noticed it was from Instagram. I'm not proud of this, but curiosity got the best of me, so I picked up his phone to take a quick peek. What I saw made my stomach drop. His search history on Instagram was full of my ex's names. Every single one I've ever mentioned to him. Some of them I haven't even spoken about in months. Oh, this is so interesting. Oh, damn. I thought found my boyfriend stalking his exes. I just completely read that wrong. That's on me. Oh, damn. He's stalking her exes. Yo, it gets interesting now. All right. So, oh man, some of them I haven't even spoken about in months. He had been looking at their profiles, even going back to their old posts and photos. I felt so violated, like he was trying to dig into my past in a way that felt really invasive and almost obsessive. When he came back into the room, I confronted him about it right away. He looked caught off guard, but then got really defensive. He said that he was just curious about who I used to date and what kind of people I was with before him. I get that everyone has a past, but this just feels like a breach of such a breach of trust. I mean, why would he need to go so deep, and why now? Does it say wait, how long? A year now. Okay, they've been dating for about a year. I'm torn because on one hand, I feel like I'm overreacting, but on the other hand, I can't shake the feeling that this is a huge red flag. It's making me question what other boundaries he's willing to cross, or if there are other things he's been snooping around about that I don't know about yet. I haven't really been able to talk to anybody about this because I'm embarrassed and confused. Am I right to feel this upset? How do I even begin to deal with this? I don't want to overthink it, but I also don't want to just brush it off. I don't want to brush it off. It's if it's a sign of something deeper. Any advice would be appreciated. So back to the whole issue of whether this is unsolicited advice or advice that they're looking for. She said any advice. At least I'm assuming it's a she. But they asked for any advice, and I mean, look, I'm just gonna give my 2 cents. I'm just gonna share it. Oh, I'll be honest, this isn't even that bad. Like, as I really thought it was gonna get darker. I thought it was gonna be something weird or whatever it may be. And so I get why she's trying to say, like, oh, I don't want to make this a big deal if it's not that big of a deal. But at the same time, like, I'm just gonna assume it's a she. She has every right. Does it even say a name? It sounds like a female name, so I'm just gonna go with she. But again, maybe I'll just say, okay, all right, let's just go with she. All right, you know. Anywho, so right. So basically, when it comes to this situation, all right, I feel like they have every right to be fully just, confused, shocked. I mean, at the end of the day, it's super weird. Imagine going on somebody's phone, which again, she did something wrong in the first place, and she's got to acknowledge that she straight up just looked through his phone. Like that's again, I feel like people shouldn't have anything to hide, but at the same time, like you gotta ask. You gotta just, eh, like why? Like why do you need to go and snoop through somebody's phone? You gotta have that trust. But maybe dating right now is one of those things that, for people, you gotta check and you gotta make sure you're doing your due diligence. Because again, how would she have ever known otherwise? But like realistically speaking, you know, and again, it sounds like it's a guy that she's dating, but it sounds like, look, guys, some guys can get insecure. Some guys can be, super insecure and they, or maybe he's genuinely honest about being insecure about what he actually, or not insecure, he's maybe just curious about, who she was with and her past, a little bit of, what they're doing. I mean, everyone has those moments where they're kind of just like, all right, like what's everyone in the past doing? You kind of just go and you search in a name. I'll be honest, I've done it before. Like I've searched up someone from my past name before and been like, all right, cool. All right, that's what they're doing. And a lot of times nothing pops up and I'm like, all right, like that much time's gone by. I hope everyone the best, but like again, sometimes it's just like curiosity, killed the cat type vibe. Hope no cats were harmed in the making of this video. Shout out to the cats out there. Um, but genuinely though, I don't think that she has anything to be super concerned about unless she's concerned about whether insecure guys are something that she can't handle. Like there's some guys out there who literally couldn't care. Shout out to those dudes. I think we should all aspire to not really caring and being insecure about, who we're with or if we're enough, because at the end of the day, as long as you're enough, that's all that really matters. You can't always be perfect for everybody. That's just not how the world works. I mean, maybe, but at least in my experience, that's just not how it works. So I feel like, and again, if I'm going in a roundabout way to say that, or like, I'm not trying to negate her feelings, is what I'm trying to say right now. Is that I don't feel like it's wrong for her to feel, confused and feel a little bit shocked and feel like, all right, this a red flag? Because again, it could be a red flag if she doesn't want to be with somebody who's potentially insecure. Because more than likely, he is insecure. Again, he could be telling the truth and he could be saying, honestly, I just was curious. And you have to take him at face value because, unless you start doubting everything he says now you've just built a relationship, or you're continuing the relationship off of a huge area of negativity and, a lack of trust. And any relationship is based off of, in my opinion, communication and trust. Anyone, forget about, somebody who's your significant other. Like, genuinely, it should be based off of your actual, you know, um, love, trust, communication. Like, those are huge for anybody, your parents or your siblings or, people you work with. I mean, you don't have to love the people you work with, but again, like communication, trust, all that's important. Yeah, I feel like it'll be cool to kind of see what other people said. I mean, again, I think what I feel is that I don't. Her main questions: am I right to feel this upset? You're right to feel whatever you want. It's your life. You're allowed to. Human emotions are a real thing. If you're upset, you're upset. It's okay. Like, affirm that. It's something that's fine. And you should let emotions hit you and not be like, oh, I have to go and like stifle this. No, it's not how it needs to be. So it's your prerogative. It's your choice to feel upset with it. How you choose to react to it is a completely different thing. How do I even begin to deal with this? So dealing with it is the thing. I don't want to overthink it. I would recommend not overthinking it. That is a huge thing I'd recommend. And But I also don't want to brush it off if it's a sign of something deeper. All it is a bit of a sign of something deeper. Because also, if he wasn't insecure and even if he was just curious, like, what even sparked the thought of wanting to look at her past? And if he really didn't care, why wouldn't he just chat to her about it? So I do think that that is the deeper thing. It's just up to you. Again, this person doesn't even know I'm talking about this, but it's up to the individual if they actually want to go ahead and be upset about it, make it worse. Because my advice, my genuine advice would be that, experience whatever you're experiencing in terms of emotions, and then realistically just let it go. Just let it go. You don't have to, dive deeper into it, strictly unless you don't want to have somebody who is somewhat insecure potentially. But it's all potential. And it's just my unsolicited advice. So what the heck did other people say about this? Oh, geez. There we go. Ah, well, I guess oh, there's only two comments. Well, anyways, he hasn't got mad at you, blah, blah, blah. He's a little bit tiny. All the same thing. Use this opportunity with love to have an open conversation. Both pass. Oh, look. Hey, yo, shout out to all the people who giving good advice over here. I'd agree with the other kind. It's a bit of an overreaction. It's natural to be curious as long as he's not messaging or something. Oh, that would be crazy. That would be crazy if he was just messaging them and stuff like that. Um, yeah, talking about both your past could be healthy if you feel like you want. Joke around about it. Massively good advice right there. Massively good advice. Take it lighthearted. Sometimes diffusing the situation is the best way to move forward with things. So I think that's a great thing. Joke around about it. And honestly, it'll bring you closer than ever and keep it all lighthearted and playful. Like, again, like, shout out to this person. They gave some really, really good advice. Don't, don't, yeah, oh yeah, you can joke around about it and look at their accounts together. Same for him. You can talk about your insecurities and feelings. Like, that's a fun, playful relationship. That's something that I think people could strive towards, not having everything be as serious as possible. And like, oh my God, like, I can't talk about this person's ex, or I'm insecure and I can't let her know because then she'll think I'm less of a man. It's like, dude, Like, you're gonna hopefully spend the rest of your life with this person. Why not just be honest? Why not just share, hey man, I'm a little bit insecure. I'm feeling a little bit doubtful about if I'm enough. Or, I remember you were talking about Joe, and Joe is so cool. I saw a little, like, he came up in my explore feed and he's like, blah blah blah, or he's jacked and I'm not. Yeah, whatever. If you're insecure about it, you're insecure about it. Why not chat about it and joke about it? And she can be like, dude, I like dad bods. I don't, he always made me feel insecure about, that he had a six pack and he was always on his diet and I wasn't about that life. Like, that's how that conversation could easily go. And it's jokes, it's fun. So that's why I hope that she's able to kind of let go a little bit and use this as an opportunity to get closer, or have some like tough, serious conversations about, trust on your end as well. Like, the person who's looking at phones, like, y'all, please don't be looking through other people's phones or snooping around. That's so, like, there's no trust there. There's no trust there. Like, again, I'm sure it happens. And if it you're not a bad person for doing it per se, but again, it usually has negative consequences, and there's consequences to every action. So, all right, that's I think that's not a bad start. You know what I mean? Like, I think that was a good place to start off with, because genuinely, like, out of all the bits and pieces of advice, funnily enough, like, I should probably chat about the fact that, like, all of that advice from somebody who's never been in a real relationship before. Like, like, it's one of those things where, like, again, there's so much I could talk about. I could make it like a whole entire episode just talking about, my past. But, if you want the sparks notes of it, and, my qualifications for the advice that I just, already spewed out. Yeah, no, I've never been in a real relationship. It's just something that never happened. I've been looking for love properly since I was like 17, wanting to get married right early jump. I'm Muslim. I don't know if any of y'all, I don't know if it's adding up, the little, the Quran and all that stuff. But anyways, basically, because of, my faith, the nature of me, wanting to find the right person, and then it just never happening. SubhanAllah, it's like, just never found the right person. I'll be honest, like, forget about all of what I just said earlier. Like, yes, it is a huge part that, I'm, my religion, my background, my family, et cetera, et cetera. But, like, a huge portion of it is I just didn't find the right person, and I wasn't interested in, like, sleeping around and, the dating culture, et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, having been in a real relationship, like, that's something that I haven't yet experienced. However, relationships, I don't believe, is strictly between significant others. I do believe there's a huge element of understanding that, for the most part, relationships are spanning across all humans. You have a relationship with, again, your family, your parents, your siblings, if you have them, uh, even your close friends, your acquaintances, the people you work with on a regular basis. Like, these are all real relationships. So that's why, for me, like, when I give any advice, it's based off of my lived experience. That's a huge caveat. I believe that's how all advice is. And two, like, it's just me, again, like, stuff that I've, watched and seen, et cetera, et cetera. But also just, like, what I've seen works with other people. It's like, if I was constantly snooping around, my business partner's phone, I think he would be very uncomfortable with, why I'm looking through his stuff like that. It's something that I think, again, and but also insecurity. Like, you could go and you could see that in so many different ways. You can see people, friends, you could be like, all right, why are you insecure if I hang out with another friend of ours? Like, you can start to see the signs. Anyways, that's my little life background, and that, technically, I don't have many grounds to be standing on, but at the same time, I think it's fair to say that advice is pretty standard across the board. And I don't think you have to have been in a relationship to be able to, have a rough idea of what could be right or wrong. But again, there's so much nuance in all of this, and even for this situation, I do feel like, who knows what the right answer is. The only right answer is the answer that you chose. The decisions and the choices you make. That everything always happens for the best, so it'll turn out the right way, anyways. Alrighty, let's hop into potentially another one. Alrighty, so Dark. Dark. Mm. All right, since we're talking about relationships, this is a quick one right here. My girlfriend wants to preemptively break up. My girlfriend, 18, female. Oh, so this is very helpful. It's got the ages, a couple of young in love individuals here. So he has a girlfriend, female, and him. He is an 18-year-old male. Have been together for a year, but we are both going off to separate universities in a few months. Ah, young love, going to university. Oh, it doesn't get more poetic than that. But she wants to break up now. Sorry. Um, to avoid a potential breakup in a few months. She has often had some doubts about our relationships. Okay, fair. Like making sure we are right for each other. But now she is scared that because we are such different people, that we will inevitably break up. So she wants to end it now. I obviously don't want to force her to be with me, but I don't think what she is doing is the best option. What should I do? Brother. Brother. It's okay. It's okay. Like, you don't need to have anyone in your life that doesn't want to be there. I'll be honest. That's my honest. From the bottom of my heart, I mean it. I look down this lens too. If they don't want to be in your life, you don't have to have them there. It's okay to let them go. It hurts sometimes. It hurts. It can be mad painful. It can be brutal. But at the same time, sometimes you just got to let them go. You just got to cut your losses. And it's not even a loss. It was a beautiful experience. I'm sure you've fallen in love with this woman. That's why you don't want to let it go. Excuse me. And if that's the case, that's all right. You can just go to your university, experience what it's like to be in university, which is a crazy time in itself. You're going from, at least for me, I went from a school of like probably like maybe a couple thousand people to a school of a university of 80,000 people. And I'm sure it's even more now, but like it's such a massive change and shock to your system. And potentially maybe this is the best thing to happen. The only thing is I would say don't, like, of course you're going to feel heartbroken. It's going to feel sad, but try not to take it to heart. And I know it's hard to not take that personally because she's saying that you guys are different people and you guys aren't right for each other. So you think, oh, what if I was the right person and I don't think we should split apart? We're perfect for each other, that type of beat. Okay, I'm putting words in your mouth. Maybe that's not how you feel, but like genuinely, it's like if you really deep it, if you really think about it, she kind of made the choice for you. And something that's massive and super important, you can't control other people. You can only control yourself. You can only control your actions. So the sooner you're able to go ahead and look at everything that's happening in your life and realizing what you can control versus what you can't, it makes things so easy. So to break it down, you can control how you feel, how she cares about you and how she feels about you and her wanting to be in a relationship with you. You genuinely can't control that unless you're on some psycho love type beat, like the TV show Love. I don't know if any, you're like Joe and he's like trying to force things that shouldn't be happening. Ideally, look at that and be like, I can't control her wanting to be with me. I can tell her that I want to be with her, and you're right to want to be with her. If you love her, then I'm sure you might want to be with her and it might be the right choice. But at the same time, do you really need to be with her? Do you really got to be with her? Just because you love her, just because you feel it in your heart of hearts and you want to actually still be with her? Like, do you need it? No, you don't. At least I'm answering that for you. Again, unsolicited advice over here. But like, dude, you can totally go to university, fall in love again, meet somebody a billion times more perfect for you. And then I promise more often than not, okay, so it's not a promise then if it's more often than not, because sometimes it doesn't happen that way. But that chances are incredibly high that you find somebody who is so much more perfect for you, and then you completely forget about her. Sure, there might be something that's amazing about her, and there might have been, wonderful experiences that you had together, but you might meet somebody who makes you forget that you were ever in love before because you never knew what love was, and that's what love is. How exciting is that? How exciting is it knowing that there's a potential that you might be meeting somebody who will rock your world, who will change everything that you ever knew about life? Like that's something to look forward to. You don't have to be hung up on the potential heartbreak. You don't got to be hung up on the fact that she's made a decision for you, which sometimes can be painful. So I would say firm it. Like I said earlier on, experience what you got to experience, but then take that situation and move forward. Take it and realize that, you know what? It's time for me to venture on my own. I mean, I don't think it says how long that they've been together for, and maybe they've been together for most of high school. So maybe you don't even remember what it's like to actually be single, be on your ones. Maybe be single. Maybe, forget about falling in love with somebody else and meeting somebody new. Find you. Be the best version of yourself that you can be. Fail a few classes. Okay, don't fail a few classes. That's what I did. Don't definitely don't do that. Or ideally, don't do that. But like, take different classes, join a bunch of clubs, have a bunch of more free time, and then experiment in a billion different ways. I mean, there's just gonna be a huge, exciting time of your life right now. You're 18 years old. There's so much to experience and to live. Being hung up over this and letting it eat away months, maybe even years of your life, just not worth it. And I know that happens to a lot of people. Use this as an opportunity to maybe, I don't know, get super jacked and ripped and, join a bunch of clubs and teams and sports. It could be fun. It could be exciting, and then see where life takes you. Alrighty. Going back to what petite people potentially said. Yeah, it's the same stuff. Sorry to say, I think she's right. She thinks you're too different, meaning she wants out anyways, and you'll be far apart for at least 4 years. Don't waste any more time on her. So don't waste your time as well as her time. Yep. If she wants to break up, she wants to break up. Respect is it. I love how breakups don't require a consensus, but it's tough, but it's true. If she doesn't want to be with you, she doesn't want to be with you. That's it. It's over. Yeah, a lot of people saying that they experience the same thing. Just let her go. It's better for you. Break up. She doesn't want to start college with a boyfriend. She out here on demon time. No, no, no. That's me. That's me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, I didn't mean to say that. She just doesn't. She just does not want to be in a relationship. That's fine. That's totally fair. She's living her life and she's doing her. Do you, boo boo? Uh, oh, jeez, it's going black again. All right, okay, crazy. So, anyways, have an open conversation about her fears. Express your feelings. Discuss the possibility of staying together despite the distance. Mutual understanding is key. I mean, that's a good piece of advice for that last conversation. But this is about. I mean, could be she's looking for more assertiveness from you that you'll work to continue the relationship, or it's possible that she genuinely doesn't feel the relationship. Yeah, try to be more curious than persuasive in the conversation. Don't fight to hold on to it too hard. That first part right there, that's the first bit of advice that I'm just like, At the end of the day, somebody's telling you that they don't want to be with you. If their intention is for you to become more assertive and to fight for them, I don't think that's the right person for you, G. I'll be honest. I don't think so. I don't think so. Talking about red flags. That's massive, massive red flag right there. So I don't think so. I don't think that's the one. So yeah, if she does, there's other good. I mean, again, the consensus is that most people feel like it should end, and I respect that. And I'll call it there. I think that's pretty solid for the first episode. I mean, what? How long have we been running for? Let's see right here. We've been running for. It's been a half hour. That's crazy. Nah, this is outrageous. No, I can't even read that one. No, 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 no. Sorry, guys. Sorry, everyone. Um, oh man, yo, see, that's the thing, right? Um, yeah, no, a lot of people are. Yeah, there's some crazy ones over here. That's all I'll say. and I should probably review some of these beforehand before I start clicking them. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's one of those things. Like, but I mean, a lot of them are so similar, and I feel like that's something that might be happening in general. As I continue on with the show, some of it may be repetitive. Fair dues. A lot of advice is pretty, it translates across the board pretty well. So I feel like, again, unless it gets super stale for me, I think I'm gonna keep chipping away, and I'll keep reading these, and going through them, and seeing what how where it goes from there. At the end of the day, I even if it's just that one person who stumbles across the video and it's helpful, I feel like that could be dope and that could be potentially helpful. Or if some of y'all find the me like fumbling between all of this, and reading it, if you find it somewhat entertaining, then even that's fair dues on that. Or if you just want to listen to it while you're doing other things, that's kind of my intention, is to keep this chill, keep it low key. I mean, hey, it may get a little bit deep, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I think we'll go on to this last one, just cause. All right, hold on a second. Do I ask if he is not interested anymore? That's tough, man. That's a tough beat. Man, that's a tough pill to swallow. And that's a tough position to be in. Yeah, okay. All right. Let me read this. By the way, I'm only reading it because I feel like there are some people who may be listening to this rather than watching it. If you're listening to it and you want to watch it, then by all means you can do that. Or oh, that's crazy. I didn't know that I had it running in the background um, over there. So I was doubled up. Hold on a second. Yeah. I see. Never mind. Never mind. It was just the same little thing. So I'll put that over there in the corner. Anyway, see, like I'm still figuring this out, man. I'm just going with the flow, guys. What was I saying? I was basically saying, if anybody is wanting to actually watch me fumble around all this stuff, by all means, you can go and watch it on YouTube. Or if you're listening to it, by all means, listen to it, and it's all good too. But that's why I'm reading it out, just on the off chance somebody is, wanting to actually hear me read it out. By all means. And also, if you don't want to watch it, then y'all don't gotta watch it. Say you say, that's totally fine too. I hope that's a good example of the fact that even in a relationship, even down to the smallest thing of random person clicking this video and not being interested in it whatsoever. If somebody's not interested, it's like, why would you want to make their life less enjoyable? And similarly, why would you want something in your life that is potentially negative? And I mean, negative things happen. Hate comes, at the end of the day, there's always going to be those moments. But at the same time, it's okay to let it go and not take it too deeply. But anyways, then yeah, so that's why I'm reading it out. And I mean, if I'm skipping and skimming through things, by all means, that's just me kind of reading too fast, and I can slow it down if y'all want. And more than anything, if I'm talking to storytelling of a fashion, I'm probably not going to change that. So do I ask if he is not interested anymore? Now, I've been talking to this guy for a couple months. We have talked every day, and lately I know he has been busy, but for the past 3 weeks, we haven't talked too much. We are not in an official relationship. I don't know what we are anymore. Hey, yo, genuinely dating nowadays, I can't even imagine. I feel for y'all out there. I feel for y'all out there right now. Dating is so weird. I heard about situationships the other day. How wild is that? Like, what does that even mean? Like, I can't. Dating for me is just something that I feel so lucky that that's something that I don't need to do. I mean, it's potentially a great example as to why I'm not in a relationship and haven't been in a relationship and continually am single. It's perpetual at this point, but inshallah it'll change. But Allahu Alam, whatever's best. But at the same time, again, like for me, and again, it may be extreme, but it's like the way that I operate is super long term. That's the only thing I think about. If it's not about that, then I'm not even interested in entertaining it. Whereas for this, it's like, imagine talking to somebody for a couple months and they've talked every day. Anyways, let's jump back into it. So yeah, we have talked every day, and lately I know he has been busy, but for the past 3 weeks we haven't talked much. We're not in an official relationship. I don't know what we are anymore. I just know that he has become less responsive and is starting to worry me. Let's take a sip of water, guys. Hold on a second. Is that ASMR? I have no idea. Um, and it's starting to worry me. I want to ask him if he is still interested in me because he can go a day without even opening my messages and hours too. I know he's online sometimes because I see him repost things, but I don't want to make assumptions because he is truly a nice guy and I don't think he would lead me on. I don't want to be hurt again though. I know we will never meet and I'm not sure this will even turn into a real relationship because we live in totally different parts of the world. Oh, they're long distance too, but I really like him. I wonder if I'm too needy. I send him videos every day and stuff, and always, sometimes always say goodnight. I'm just gonna assume that she always says goodnight, and sometimes he says it. Maybe he used to say it too, but he doesn't these last weeks. I don't know if I'm just overthinking. I have apologized for being clingy before, and he told me not to worry about it. Don't apologize. It's not like his responses are dry either because they aren't. He still acts the same, just less affectionate. Yeah, now I'm just gonna go straight into what everyone else is saying because it's the same thing. He doesn't seem interested. Stop contacting him. You're putting more effort than he is. There are other guys out there. I know that, but this guy means a lot to me. I just can't leave. We started off as friends, and we said when this little thing started, he did not want to hurt me. He's playing. Uh, sorry if I'm getting too loud. He's playing me if it went too far. Or no, yeah, he did not want you. Yeah, he did not want to hurt me if it went too far, or if it went far, because we both know we won't meet in real life. That's why I don't get why he's acting weird. Why would he say that and act this way instead of just telling me he's interested? But thank you for this. I'll need to think. Yeah, I think it sounds like you're feeling uncertain about where things stand with him. It's totally understandable to want clarity in a situation like this. Maybe you could gently bring up how you notice a change in communication and express your feelings openly. It's important to communicate your needs and feelings in any relationship, even if it's not official. Maybe something like, "Hey, I've noticed we haven't been talking much as much lately, and I've been feeling a bit unsure where we stand. Can we talk about it? I hope this helps. Good luck. Thank you. I will try to bring it up." Next conversation. Ah, yeah. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. She has her name here, but yeah, I won't. Yeah, should I say the name? Nah, I think it's fine. Anyways, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I just feel like it's one of those things that is tough. It's tough when you're putting more effort into a situation and the other person is not. It's the nature of the beast of getting close to people in life. Some people will hurt you, some people will be amazing. You don't know when you start talking to somebody, and that's a tough one sometimes. I'm not going to assume how old you are, or maybe I will. It sounds like maybe you're oh, no, how about this? If you are potentially on the younger side, then it may seem like I don't want to lose this person because I care a lot about this person, but I mean, you've only been talking to them for a couple of months. He's this dude's what I think it is, and again, it's an assumption, but the reality we don't know because he knows what's actually going on. But my assumption is that he's he's somebody who just doesn't want to have those tough conversations. He may not be confrontational. He may actually be the nice guy that you think of him, and because of that, that is his flaw because he won't actually let you know and tell you that he isn't as interested. And he might not be uninterested in you as a person. He's just potentially not interested in spending that much time talking to you now. He's potentially bored of the conversations on a regular basis. And so when he has those large chunks of gaps, then he goes and he's like, "Oh yeah, like this is fun." Like, and he'll continue as if no time's kind of left off. And that's okay if you guys were just friends. If you just want him as a friend and if that's just who he is for you, by all means. But if you got those feelings for him and you want to get close to him, first and foremost, I would try to shut those down. It's hard to control your feelings sometimes, but it's tough when you know that you're not going to meet in real life. And if you establish this, like, this is why it's tough talking to people that you may potentially get interested in, is that like it can get painful when you let your own walls down and then it turns out that you guys aren't going to actually be with each other even if you know it going in. I mean, they've made movies on it. There was what was that, No Strings Attached, and all those, like, they're in the whole friends with benefits situation. I mean, you guys were just talking online, so again, it's one of those things that it's tough. But look, I'll be honest, and I feel like I've been repeating it for all three of these situations, but I'll be honest, I don't think he's not interested in you, but I don't think he's somebody who you would have a future with. And if you wanted a future with them, it's potentially something that you need to realize and have a conversation with yourself. It's not something you got to talk with him. The other person said a great thing. You can talk and be like, hey, I wonder where we are in terms of our friendship. Is there potential of this going forward? You can have those. I would recommend being confrontational and actually bringing that up, not in a negative way, but in a fun, cool way of being like, hey, like, what are we doing here? And then seeing what they say. But where it ends up going, it's up to you. It's up to you how you want to take it. I think he's firmly, passively explained where he stands in this situation. He's more than happy to keep chatting with you every once in a while. But if you're sending goodnight texts all the time, and sometimes, and I don't want to say he love bombed you, because that's a strong word to use for somebody who had established that you guys are long distance and y'all aren't going to be meeting in person. But at the same time, he gave you 100 and then now he's dialing back. You can't control that. You can't control it. And sometimes you just got to go and you got to walk away. You got to walk away from it, and you got to not walk away from the relationship in terms of your friendship with them, but maybe walk away from the feelings that you have. And sometimes that's tough to deal with, but you got to push through. And I'm sure you'll be able to do it because you sound like a very sweet, kind-hearted person. And I will probably never know and probably won't be able to follow up on it because there's so many different posts on a regular basis on Reddit. But yeah, I think you'll be fine if you just stay positive. I think positivity is one of the most important things that you can have for all of this, but communication will help with this. I think we've really kind of rounded it up and sent it home with me yapping for the last little bit about it. But it is just about having clear and healthy communication, talking on a regular basis, and just doing your best to be transparent. Whenever you have these emotions, bring it up. And you don't have to apologize about being clingy. Like, you're being somebody who's involved and cares. So that's not the answer. The answer is just clear, honest communication and see where it goes from there. But that's it from me, guys, or everyone. I just feel like that was fun. That was not fun hearing people going through tough situations, but it was fun being able to chat and share my thoughts on this. I hope it potentially was helpful. If not, again, hopefully it was just fun to listen to. And if not, either way, we'll see where the next episode goes. But that's my whole thought about the unsolicited advice situation. Again, I feel like if somebody wants to know and wants to hear more about what my thoughts would be on their particular situation, feel free to send it to the email. The producers are going to be filtering through it and look through it. And, hopefully I'll get a chance to look through it and potentially talk about it. And you'll hear my, I guess, solicited advice at that point, because you'll be sending it specifically to the actual show. So again, that's going to be down there. And more than anything, I hope y'all have an amazing, amazing day, life, night, wherever you are, whenever you are. I hope y'all are blessed. Take it easy. And until the next one. Yalla. Salaam, everyone. Cheers.